The movie opens with a viral outbreak forces a bus convoy to evacuate residents from nearby cities and transport them to a quarantine area known as Harmony. Just short of the quarantine gates, the convoy comes to an unexpected halt. A soldier disembarks to investigate, but after several minutes of silence, an officer left on board calls out to him with no reply. Concerned, the officer follows, only to be ambushed. The soldier reappears, rabid, and sinks his teeth into the officer's neck. The infected soldier storms back onto the bus, prompting Jack and Patrick to throw him off. Seizing the moment, Jack exits to retrieve a weapon from the fallen officer. But as he reaches for the firearm, the wounded soldier revives and lunges at him. Jack fires, killing the zombified soldier, but spots more infected troops closing in. He dives beneath the bus for cover as Patrick scrambles to shut the door. Inside, panic erupts, and passengers scramble toward the rear exit. Zombies soon break into the bus through the doors and windows, attacking and biting anyone they can reach. Patrick tries to reach his wife, Emma, but is thrown off the bus when a zombie lunges at him. He manages to kill it by smashing its head against the side of the bus. Nearby, Emma hides with her baby, trying to stay out of sight. She climbs into a jeep, thinking she's found safety, but a zombie suddenly grabs her. As she struggles to fight it off, another infected attacker starts smashing the windshield to reach her. Just in time, Jack shows up and eliminates the zombies. Emma panics when she sees blood on her baby, but Jack and Patrick quickly check and find no injuries on the child. They then realize the blood is Emma's. She's been bitten on the arm. 9 years later, Patrick roams the barren, frozen city in search of food. After shooting a horse, he hauls the carcass onto his snowmobile and brings it back to his home in Harmony. From the window of the neighboring house, Lou watches and informs Jack that Patrick has killed another animal. While Patrick prepares the horse meat, Jack opens a can of beans only to find it spoiled with mold. But fortunately, he finds a good one as a backup. That night, Patrick tries to reach out to any remaining survivors over the radio, but receives no reply. Instead, he talks aloud, pretending to host a conversation. Later, he watches through his binoculars as Jack tucks Lou into bed and softly wishes her goodnight, hoping she could somehow hear him. The next morning, Jack checks Lou's bed and is alarmed to find it empty. Rushing to the kitchen, he scolds her for going downstairs alone. Lou, trying to make breakfast, explains she didn't want to disturb him, but Jack reminds her of the rules she must follow. When he gives her a cookie, she slips it into her pocket and then asks for another. Next door, Patrick is awakened by his dog barking and opens the door to let it out. Lou approaches the dog at the fence and gives it a cookie. She then notices the dog has dug a hole along the fence, large enough for it to crawl through. Later that day, Jack teaches Lou how to solve multiplication problems without using her fingers. After the lesson, he heads outside to practice shooting cans while Lou plays with her dolls. When Lou asks if she can try shooting, Jack firmly refuses, not allowing her to handle a gun. Frustrated, Lou says she's too old for dolls and asks Jack to join her in playing. As they spend time together, Jack notices Patrick returning from a supply trip, but chooses not to acknowledge him. That evening, Jack gives Lou a box containing her late mother's belongings. Curious, she asks why he's giving it to her now. Before Jack can respond, she hears the sound of a birthday song playing from Patrick's PA system and realizes it's her birthday. Patrick has baked her a cake, but because of the tension between him and Jack, he doesn't deliver it. Instead, he gives it to his dog. While talking, Lou asks Jack what birthday parties were like before the outbreak. Jack mentions that other kids used to attend them, but Lou is skeptical since she's never seen another child. She adds that she doesn't even remember seeing her mother, but Jack explains that it's likely because she was too young at the time. Lou then questions whether zombies are real, and Jack tells her they once were, but the cold wiped them out. That night, Lou sleeps peacefully, but Jack stays awake because of loud music blasting from Patrick's speakers. Later, Lou wakes up from a nightmare. Hearing the dog barking, she looks outside and sees a pale zombie beyond the fence. In the morning, Jack finds Lou hiding under the bed, unwilling to come out. When he crawls under with her, she tells him she saw a monster during the night. Jack thinks it was just a bad dream, but Lou insists she saw the zombie after she was already awake. Jack still doesn't believe her and reassures her that all the zombies were killed by the cold. Later, Lou places a stuffed animal near a gap in the fence, hoping it will keep monsters away. When Patrick sees her near the fence, he realizes she's the one feeding his dog cookies and warns her that it might make the dog sick. Jack suddenly rushes outside and orders Patrick to stay away from Lou and not to speak to her. He then threatens to shoot Patrick's dog if it doesn't stop barking, prompting Patrick to command the dog to be quiet. Later, while scavenging a warehouse for supplies, Patrick remembers being there with Emma. At the time, when he made too much noise, Emma became anxious and warned him that the zombies might hear. In response, Patrick bitterly asked if she gave Jack the same warning when she cheated on him. Spotting a doll he thinks Lou would like, Patrick picks it up. As he continues searching the warehouse, he comes across the bloody remains of an animal. Suddenly, a growling zombie appears and chases him. Patrick and his dog flee the building, and once outside, he quickly slams the door shut and locks the zombie inside. As he starts his snowmobile, the zombie begins banging against the door in an effort to escape. On the way back, Patrick keeps checking over his shoulder, worried the zombie might be following him. While speeding through the snow, he crashes into a fallen tree he didn't see in time. Meanwhile, Jack starts teaching Lou how to use a gun. When she fires, the recoil knocks her over, but she excitedly tells Jack she enjoyed it. Back at the crash site, the zombie finally catches up to Patrick, who is still on the ground. Fortunately, the zombie doesn't notice him, likely because it's blind. A distant gunshot distracts the creature, causing it to run off. Patrick then quickly hops on the snowmobile and races after it. At the house, Jack spots a hare outside the fence and prepares to shoot it. Just before he can fire, a gunshot rings out and he sees Patrick approaching. Patrick yells for Jack to run back to the house, then rams the zombie with his snowmobile. But he gets thrown off. As Patrick reaches for his weapon, the zombie leaps at him. Lou urges Jack to shoot, but Jack tells her to go inside and lock the gate. While Patrick fights to keep the zombie from biting him, Jack aims his gun but freezes, unable to pull the trigger. The zombie eventually overpowers Patrick and bites his neck. The dog attacks the zombie in defense, but it's soon overpowered and bitten as well. The zombie only flees when Patrick manages to grab his gun and shoot it. Jack returns to the house where Lou angrily confronts him for not stopping the zombie before it killed the dog. Outside, Patrick mourns the loss of his dog and blames it for trying to play hero. Once back at his place, Patrick disinfects his wound with alcohol and attempts to end his life. However, he hesitates and collapses, haunted by the memory of Emma begging him to cut off her bitten hand while Jack held her down. The next day, Jack begins boarding up the house, anticipating that Patrick will turn into a zombie. Lou, however, insists that Patrick isn't infected and scolds Jack for not believing her when she told him about the zombie she saw earlier. Jack tries to calm her down by offering her 2 cookies, but she reminds him that one of them was meant for the dog. Lou then says she wants to pick flowers for her mother without having to ask permission, but Jack tells her that it's too dangerous now that the zombies have returned. Later, while Jack is out gathering flowers, he finds a doll on the ground and realizes that Patrick must have picked it out for Lou. Meanwhile, the voice on the radio starts urging Patrick to kill Jack. When Patrick refuses, the voice harshly reminds him that he showed pity for Jack but let Emma die. That night, Jack returns and tells Lou he only managed to find fake flowers. Lou splits the bouquet, placing half in front of her mother's photos. She then grabs a revolver, crawls through the hole in the fence, and places the rest on the dog's grave. Jack rushes outside when he sees her heading there. As Lou lays the flowers by the grave, a zombie sneaks up on her. She tries to shoot it, but the zombie knocks the gun from her hand. Jack tackles the creature and punches it repeatedly. The zombie slashes his chest with its claw, but Jack continues beating it until it stops moving. While Jack checks on Lou, Patrick appears and points a gun at him. But instead of shooting Jack, he fires at another zombie approaching from behind. That night, Jack notices Lou isn't in bed and heads outside to search for her. Suddenly, a zombie lunges at him, but it's chained down and has had its arms removed. Patrick appears and explains that the zombies seem to be evolving. They can now close up their wounds and have developed tougher skin to survive the cold. However, he adds that there's some good news. The zombies are no longer infectious and appear to be blind. When Lou comes out of Patrick's house, Jack quickly brings her back home. Later, she uses the walkie-talkie to invite Patrick to dinner the following night. Patrick happily accepts and immediately grooms himself, shaving his beard and cutting his hair to get ready. The next evening, Patrick arrives for dinner, bringing meat to share. Jack hands him the doll he found earlier, suggesting Patrick give it to Lou himself. When Lou comes downstairs, she's surprised by Patrick's new appearance, now clean-shaven and with short hair. During dinner, Lou plays with the laughing doll and asks how Patrick knew she wanted that specific toy. Patrick says he just had a feeling she'd like it because he enjoyed similar toys when he was a kid. As he shares stories from his childhood, Lou comments that he was lucky to have other kids to play with, whereas she only has dolls for company. After Lou falls asleep, Patrick tells Jack that he's planning to repair the truck so they can leave. Jack, however, says he wants to stay, even though Patrick warns him that more zombies are likely to show up. Patrick accuses Jack of being so focused on surviving that he's forgotten how to actually live. In response, Jack asks why Patrick hasn't left yet. Patrick simply glances at Lou, implying that he's staying because of her. After Patrick leaves for home, Jack sits next to Lou and remembers the day Emma died. He had come home to find Patrick drunk on the floor while the baby cried in the crib. When Patrick asked about Emma, Jack, overwhelmed with rage, struck him on the head and accused him of killing her. Jack then took the baby and told Patrick he was no longer Lou's father. The following morning, Jack and Lou choose to leave home and join Patrick. The three of them drive away from Harmony and make a stop at a warehouse to gather supplies. As Patrick steps out of the truck, he recalls the day he abandoned Emma outside the same warehouse to go drinking, driven by jealousy toward Jack. While Emma cried inside the truck, zombies attacked her. After collecting what they need, the trio returns to the truck but spots a woman in the distance. When Patrick approaches, she panics, so he restrains her until she calms down. Rather than continuing their journey, they decide to bring her back home. Later that evening, when the woman wakes up, she shares her story. During the outbreak, she and her family locked themselves inside their home. A year later, they set out for the north and lived with other survivors. She explains that she met a man, became pregnant, but he never found out he was going to be a father. Eventually, they joined a convoy heading to a valley, but a zombie attack killed everyone, except her. The woman suddenly hears the chained zombie howling, so she grabs a revolver and rushes outside to shoot it. She then warns Patrick that the howls are how the zombies communicate with each other. Soon after, they hear more howls in the distance, prompting them to quickly barricade the house and ready their weapons. When the zombies arrive, Jack hides Lou in the basement, instructing her to stay silent. While exploring, Lou encounters a zombie but manages to avoid it by remaining quiet. Meanwhile, more creatures start breaking into the house. Upstairs, a zombie attacks Jack, and in his struggle to keep it out, he retreats into a room but accidentally drops his gun. In the basement, Lou places her doll in a trunk and uses a lantern to create a sound. Attracted by the noise, the zombie jumps into the trunk, and Lou swiftly shuts and locks it inside. Back upstairs, Jack sees another zombie trying to enter through a window. He grabs his gun and shoots one zombie at the door, but runs out of ammo before he can shoot the other. To avoid detection, he remains still and silent. As Patrick battles a zombie downstairs, the woman blasts loud music to disorient the creature's sensitive hearing. Lou eventually emerges from the basement and warns Patrick about the monster she trapped down there. He tells her to stay in the room where he keeps his radio. While Patrick and the others are fending off the zombies, Lou hears a woman's voice trying to communicate with them. When the generator runs out of fuel, the music cuts off, and the group realizes they're low on ammunition. Lou recalls that before the power went out, the woman on the radio told her to head to Spring Falls. As the creatures begin to break into the house, Patrick tells Jack he'll distract the zombies to give them a chance to escape. After saying goodbye to Lou with a kiss, he grabs Jack's shotgun and ignites a flare. Outside, Patrick fires at the approaching zombies and shouts to draw more of them toward him. Meanwhile, Jack and the others make it to the truck. Patrick then runs toward the fuel barrels, and just as a monster attacks, he ignites the leaking gasoline, causing a massive explosion that kills both himself and the surrounding zombies. After escaping Harmony, Jack, Lou, and the woman pull over and pause to watch the sunrise. Thank you for watching until the end of this video. See you in the next one.